You have a mother who handcuffed her children inside of a laundry room, naked, with only a bucket of dirty water to share between them to drink, forcing them to eat their own waste, feeding them a couple of times a week a mustard or bologna or a relish sandwich. And these are the kind of women that these dudes out here like to sleep with because they just like to have their little wet whenever they want to have it. But all money ain't good money, and this one right here is fool's gold. We like to say that when we're in a relationship, things are going fine when we want to pretend that everything was going fine the whole time when no, it was only fine 5%, the other 95 was hell. We like to say, oh, we made a mistake, we didn't know, but you did know, but you didn't care because you liked what you were doing, you liked the situation, you didn't want it to change because you was used to it, so you put up with it. But I can never understand how a man can be with a woman who has children and watch her disrespect her children in his presence. How can you being with a woman who has children, who disrespects her children, mistreats her children, or abuses her children to this extent, not cause you to say, I don't want to be here, I don't want to deal with her, I don't want to do this? No, you gonna partake in the punishment that the children are receiving. Do you not think in your head that there's a possibility that somewhere at some time that, well, we've been playing this Russian roulette, at some moment I'm gonna make a mistake and shoot the club up, and then you have a child? Then when that baby get here, somebody start acting weird, things go left, you disappear, and now it's your baby inside that laundry room next to the other sibling, like the people under the stairs. But no, you don't think about that. The same way that she don't think about that when she sit back and laugh as you go off on your baby mama. She sit back and laugh when your baby mama complain about you ain't getting nothing from them to help support this child. But then when the baby comes and he disappears, and now you telling that same story, reading from that same script. And then when everyone have sympathy for you, trying to say, how did we get here? When you were seeing how you were getting there, you didn't care. God showed you all the signs. You didn't care. God showed you the way out. You didn't care. You stayed because you wanted to stay. You put up with it because you wanted to put up with it, and you knew it was wrong. But because it wasn't you, because you felt you are safe, it ain't yours, I don't care, it ain't me. Selfish mentality helps no one. That's what makes this even worse, because when the oldest child, the oldest male twin, had the foresight, the intuition, the understanding, the plotting to sit and move stealthily to steal the key from his mother's pocketbook, he hid the key in his mouth. And when it was locked away again, he freed himself and he freed his sister. And they ran for help. Mama packed up her and the other 5 kids and that no good man baby that she was dealing with, and they fled to Louisiana. These kids went running from help. They showed ring cameras of these kids running from help and the condition that they was in and how they was looking, and you trying to tell me that, sir, I don't want to hear, I didn't know, I understand, I was scared. You live in Texas. Guns are legal in Texas. I don't want to hear that. I live in Jersey. When you see something like that, we automatically know something is wrong or something ain't right. You didn't. When they walked by, you didn't see anything else. You didn't come out. You didn't check. You didn't do anything. Because your kids was in their bed safe. And these kids was out here looking for help. And it took for another woman, a mother, to have compassion, to see these children, to let them in, to hear their story, to save them, to find out the horrific things that they went through. And then the news showing the pictures, and it makes me mad because I'm trying to understand. Their mother, who's no good, who did this to them, is in jail, so she didn't give consent. There are the ward of the state at this moment. Who gave consent? HIPAA laws are being broken by having these pictures of these children floating around in this condition. I don't care if you blurred the face out. I don't care if you went on the mother's social media to try to find out if she did what she did to other kids. If you can see how they looked in other videos, they aren't in any other videos. The news have already looked. He ain't even in none of the videos. The news has already looked. These children are victims of someone worse than a tyrant. We sit and protest and talk about what the other man is doing to us. We sit and talk about what the other man do to the children. People want to argue, debate, and blame sides, but here's my problem. Yes, It's one thing when someone else is the one doing it to you. But when you doing it to yourself, that's a whole nother story. That's evil. You hurt yourself. You're harming yourself. We all know the collective pain that we all have here in these United States of America. When that happened to George Floyd wasn't our brother. He wasn't our uncle. He wasn't our friend. We didn't even know him. But he looked like us. We know a George Floyd. And when it happened to him, it hurt us. When it happened to Breonna, it hurt us. When it happened to Trayvon, it hurt us. When it happened to Emmett Till, it hurt us. Malcolm, Martin, and the real Messiah. Not the fairy tale man y'all love to claim. Because even that story now, when we hear it, whether those who believe it or not want to admit it or not, when you hear the story and you know it's a lie, you feel it here and it hurt you. These children suffered what we heard the slave went through, but it wasn't done by someone that doesn't look like them. It was done by someone who brought them here. The one that also the world says that we're supposed to stand up, stand behind, and look up to. And what's sad is you don't realize, because you are more focused on what other people who don't care about you have to say about you, that you don't want to listen when we tell you that we love you, we care about you, we don't care about that, you're fine the way you are, we're good. No, you want to let everyone else convince you that there is something wrong, you need more, you need better. Better is what you make it. You can get all the more you want in this world, the more you need in this world, but you'll always want more instead of being content with what you have. What makes this story even worse, the news reported that this woman had just moved to Cypress, Texas, into a brand new $600,000 house. But you had these babies chained in a laundry room. You have 7 children. You tell these 2 out of a house full of children to not make noise or they will be punished and beaten. My mother only had 3. Then we had a host of other cousins. House always full. There is no such thing as quiet. They ain't quiet when you sleep. There is no quiet. But you want these 2 to not make noise while the rest of the 5 cause a ruckus. And these 2, I just want to know what in your brain make these 2 different from those 5? That is what makes these 2 different than those 5.